Hey guys, Ezra here and welcome back to another Ezra review. And on today's review, I want to talk about a new Jackie Chan movie called Alegend. Now, this is actually a sequel to the 2005 The Myth, which is basically a classic movie, Even though you probably haven't watched The Myth, you probably already heard the song called Endless Love, which is obviously sung by Jackie Chan. I think the other one is a Korean actress who plays the princess. Kim something I forgot. I think Kim has shown. I think Kim has shown. I think, which portrayed the princess in the first movie. And this is actually the third movie of the myth. Because like there is the myth, there is Kung Fu Yoga, and there is this one called A Legend. But I feel like A Legend is like the true sequel to the myth. Because Kung Fu Yoga is just like, hey, remember the myth, guys? This took place on the same universe as the myth, and then that's it. That's just the connection. But I feel like A Legend is actually the myth too, because it follows the same structure as the first movie, and there is some positive and negative stuff about the movie, but I think on the contrary, I want to talk about the negative first, to get it out of the way first, and then I could finish the video on a much more positive note, because I like this movie, even though there is some problem with it. Well, first of all, I have to be honest with the idea of how they use an AI technology to basically de-age Jackie Chan, which really surprised me and some people on the theater as well, that Jackie Chan just appear younger in the movie. Like, what the hell, man? It was uncanny valley at times, but eventually you get used to it, because like they use that frequently. It wasn't just not on one shot on a dark place, but no, it was a brightly lit scene, and it was, it's all the past story essentially, and all the past story basically feature a younger Jackie Chan. um and I think there is even a picture comparison where the current Jackie Chan, which is like 70 years old, and that is the DH Jackie Chan, that you see in the movie poster, and then you see on the scenes, which is like when you first saw that, it was obviously really weird, but I feel like you get used to it because they use that a lot in the movie. It's a lot of like DH Jackie Chan, and focusing on that way more than the older Jackie Chan. It's also become my criticism about the movie. Because in China the movie was criticized for using AI because of how he used to DH Jackie Chan. And there is even some people that having this theory that maybe there is a stunt double for Jackie Chan. And I have to agree with that, because it feels like, I don't know, man, because with the younger Jackie Chan's face, the DH Jackie Chan face, it's really hard to tell if it actually him doing the stunt, or is actually the stunt double doing the stunt, doing the action sequence, because the action in this movie are great, but I feel like when you get back to the past, which is featuring again the younger Jackie Chan, we don't exactly know if it was actually Jackie Chan himself doing the action sequences, or is it actually a stunt double, because the face is younger, so like it's really weird to see that, so there is that, people don't like that in China, and I feel like if people actually watch the movie right now, then yeah, I think that's gonna be my one of the main criticism, that is it felt really weird to do that decision in a way, even though that, yeah, it's a cutting edge technology, but I feel like it's also really weird, but for the story of the movie itself, I think the myth does one thing better than this movie, is that the connecting tissue between the two storylines from the past and the present day in the first movie, it's actually felt really connected, because like obviously Jackie Chan's character actually met the princess, on the myth, because she drinks like an immortality pill, I think. So they are able to meet each other again on the present day. So that's why I think the story was much more tragic, and obviously much more connected than this movie, because the best part about A Legend is actually when you get back to the past storyline, it was actually super engaging for me. If you're able to look past the CGI Jackie Chan, then yeah, I think the storyline, the action, the cinematography are all amazing. But once you get back to the modern world, that's where I think the storyline becomes super disconnected in a way, because like the modern world just wasn't that interesting, and it feels like a generic Jackie Chan movie, in a way, where like the current Jackie Chan movie is just like featuring a funny characters, that featuring a girl that fall in love with a guy, and then that's it, and that's what the modern world on A Legend was. Like back in the past it was interesting, and in the modern world with the current Jackie Chan, it feels so boring, until the third act, which is pretty good, but even then, like the connecting tissue just like wasn't really that huge, unlike the myth. So yeah, there is that. So that's like the negative stuff about the movie. Like the CGI Jackie Chan was like, again, it's uncanny valley using AI. Obviously, pissed a lot of people off in China, but at the same time, I feel like once you get used to it, I feel like you have a good story to tell there. So there is that, and there is also again the connecting story between the past and the modern world feel forced. And it feels like this could be like a standalone, like a dynasty adventure storyline, or like a war movie, I guess you could say that. Not necessarily a war movie, but it's like a drama romance movie that's set in the old dynasty era of China. It could be a standalone movie without having any modern connection. But obviously, because this is a sequel to the myth, then you have to do that, right? So it kind of feels forced, because like, this two storyline felt so disconnected until the very end. So there is that. But even then, I would say this movie does a lot of things better than the myth at the same time, because I feel like the action sequence for the first, let's just start with that. I think the action on this movie is actually really, it's just better than the first one, which is kind of insane to me, because this movie is directed by Stanleytong, which we all know that Stanleytong and Jackie Chan works together a lot, like back in the past and to the current age even, So it's really cool that they're working together again, and I feel this is like their um I feel this is their best work, because I feel like Stanley Tong also directed The Myth, the first movie, which I think he does a pretty good job, but I feel like the action and the cinematography of Alegend is actually better than The Myth, because there is a lot of like wide shot in this movie, and I feel like they're shooting that on real location, Sometimes it was CGI and using visual effects, sure, but for the most part, it's actually they shoot this movie on real location, because it looks so real on the screen. So that's really really gorgeous shot. You get so many gorgeous shot, like the character riding a horse every single time, but you have this like huge nature shot above them, and it's just like so amazing to look at. And obviously the action sequence is really really amazing. Again, if you look past the CGI Jackie Chan, most of the action sequence for Jackie Chan, quote unquote, here is actually the younger version of him in the past fighting a bunch of bad guys, and the action is actually really well directed. There's a bunch of new characters as well, like a new princess, named Meng Yun, I think, and then there's also Wang Jing, which is a bunch of new characters as well, and it really mirrors the character from the myth, but I feel like this character dynamic between the trio is actually way better, because you get a trio in the original myth, but at the same time, I feel like the myth characters wasn't exactly well done as in this movie, where in this one it's actually they have a chemistry that actually matters in the past, but it's just like, again, the modern connection is just really weak in my opinion, but if you go back to the past, the story is way more engaging, and it feels like it should just focus on that without any modern connection, because it could be a good dynasty era movie, like a drama romance is set in the old dynasty China and doesn't have any connection to the myth or even the modern era. It would be a good standalone movie without any of that connection, but obviously they do that. So the past storyline is amazing. The characters are really I guess relatable in a way, or I guess like you could sympathize with them, and they have chemistry, all of them together. So I think I really care for all three characters, and of course the action is well done, it's great. I think this might be the best recent Jackie Chan movie, even though again it was the younger CGI Jackie Chan that do most of the action, whether it was actually him doing it or it was a stunt double doing it, we don't know. But the point is, it was a good action, that's like my main takeaway. It was a fun action sequences, and there is a final boss battle, finally, so that's good, because sometime in a Jackie Chan movie, when there is like a final boss fight, it was actually the best, So I'm really glad that a legend actually have several final boss fights, between all the characters, and I feel like they are well choreographed, so that's a good thing as well, So good action, good cinematography, good directed by Stanley Tong. Performances are great all around, even in the modern era, even though that the story wasn't as interesting as the past storyline, but the actor and actresses does a good job, because there's a lot of funny moments in the modern era. So I think that's a good thing to have in the movie. My theaters are chuckling or like laughing along with the joke, so it clearly works. I even laughed several times, so I'm having a fun time watching the movie itself, so I think the performance is good, like even in the past it's way better, but in the modern, for being a funny characters, they did a good job, because they make the audience laugh, and I also like the third act of the movie, even though that again, this is where the modern storyline finally has some connection to the past, because again, unlike in the myth, where the professor character, Jackie Chan's character, actually investigating this storyline and then investigating his dream, and you felt more connection from the past to the modern era, especially when he met the princess, actually met the princess in the modern era. That's where you feel that the story are connected, and in this movie, they did several callbacks to the myth, which I think that is a really good stuff. Oh, they did a callback to the myth. That's really really cool that they decided to do that. And there is some connecting tissue for the storyline, but I feel like the connecting tissue just wasn't really there in this movie. Like the villain, for example, like you met him again in the modern era, and I feel like that's like the connecting storyline. But it wasn't as strong as the myth. Because the princess is not in the modern era. The princess is actually in the past, and again, I feel like what happened to the princess and some of the other characters was like, again, yeah, it's really tragic, but I feel like it's just missing that connection, because in the first movie, the princess actually there in the modern era, so our character met the princess, so like it feels like the journey feel earned in the first movie. Well, in this movie, the third act is just fun. It's a dumb fun action sequence, and that's cool. We get to finally see Jackie Chan, the old Jackie Chan, finally see him in action, with the main bad guy, and again having a final battle with him. That's really really cool. So there is that connecting storyline there. But I feel like the lack of like the connection from the past storyline to the modern storyline, it felt really jarring, because it felt really really forced at times, but I gotta praise the scenes where Jackie Chan actually doing his own stunts, because this time I can actually say for sure, because there is no CGI on Jackie Chan's face. So far the older Jackie Chan scene for the most part of the movie is like telling a story to a bunch of other characters, and that's fine. And finally, in the third act, we actually see the old Jackie Chan in action, because again, there is no CGI on his face, So the action again is well choreographed. It's really really fun. There's some funny moments, classic funny Jackie Chan moment. That's really really cool, So even though that there is a flaws in the story, a flaws in the connecting tissue between the two storyline, unlike in the myth, but the movie managed to provide a fun enough storyline with a great cinematography, a great performance, a great action sequence, even in the final battle with older Jackie Chan. He does a great job, Jackie Chan is 70 and he still moves really fast and really know how to fight, obviously. And performing his own stunts in the third act of the movie, that's really, really cool to look at, Felt like a classic Jackie Chan action sequence, so that's good, And the past storyline is actually really, really engaging, I love the past storyline. Even though the modern storyline just felt forced at times, but I feel like there's a lot more positive to say about this movie compared to the compared to the recent modern Jackie Chan movie, because like the recent Jackie Chan movie just wasn't really that good, to be honest. They're completely forgettable, when you're watching them. Yeah, you might have some fun time, but they were completely forgettable. But I feel like this is like the recent best modern Jackie Chan movie, because the recent best modern Jackie Chan movie, in my opinion, is The Foreigner, which is like Jackie Chan and Pierce Brosnan starring together in a movie. So that's really really cool. But I feel like Alegend is like really really close for being a good modern Jackie Chan movie, even though again there is some jarring decision with the young CGI Jackie Chan's face, and most of the story, most of the action sequence happens in the past. They're good, but the CGI could be a problem to so many people, so there's that at least. But if you're able to look past that, then I will assure you, I will promise you that you will be engaged with the story and the action sequences on itself, so there's that. Also, there is a cameo in this movie, which I think that's really really cool, but I wish that the character that appeared in this movie could be one of the main characters, because I feel like there will be a much better storyline to tell, because it's obviously really connected to the first movie, but it's just a cameo, it's a fun cameo that happens, in the movie. So I think that's really really fun, but I just wish that the character has a much bigger role in the story, So I guess that's my review for Alegend, guys. Again, it's a good modern Jackie Chan movie. I certainly want to watch this again, I will certainly put this movie on my Jackie Chan's movie collection, which is like really rare happens this day, especially with the modern Jackie Chan movie. I just tend to forget them. I just save the older Jackie Chan movie because obviously they're great, But the modern one, this might be the one of the few ones that I was going to keep in my Jackie Chan movie collection, you know. So it's a good movie in my opinion, you know. Some things they did better than the myth, you know, especially the past storyline. So there's that. So that's my review, guys. I guess let me know in the comment section below if you guys already watched A Legend, and what do you guys think about this movie? Do you guys think this movie is better than the myth, or do you guys think the myth does a better job than this movie, you know? And if you guys haven't watched the movie, then are you guys planning to watching it, you know? Because I don't know about the release date on this movie, you know, but if you are planning to watching it, then I guess if the movie got released on your country, then I suggest you guys go out and watch it, you know. If you love the myth, if you love Jackie Chan, then you might love this movie, you know. And again, if you're able to look past the young CGI Jackie Chan's face, then I think you're gonna have a good time watching the movie, because the movie is really fun in my opinion, you know. So there's that. And if you guys enjoyed this video, then make sure guys, you know, slash the subscribe and like button, guys. Share the videos to your stuff. And again, stay tuned for more videos in the future. And again, I hope you guys enjoy this movie review. And I will see you guys in the next one then. Bye.